so, I remember, aside from the book, I remember once in Louisville, Kentucky, turning up to give a talk and then finding I had to give 2 talks. And I'd got prepared one. And I had sort of 3 hours or something to prepare the other one. And it was a long time ago, and I didn't sort of have a whole load in my quiver. And I sort of extemporized one slightly about hair. And I never thought about it before. And then, but it appealed to me because it was, seemingly one of the most trivial things you could imagine. But I know that hair is always important in 19th century novels, women's hair at least. Of course, in Jane Austen, men's hair too. Frank Churchill's haircut's pretty important. But anyway, and I just followed it. And of course, there's loads of stuff there about hair and what it means and who cuts. And do you know who's the only character in Jane Austen, the only female character in Jane Austen who in the novels has a hairdresser? No, the only character who for sure has a hairdresser is actually Catherine Morland in Northanger Abbey. And that's because when she goes to Bath and she's going to be taken out to an assembly ball or whatever, Mrs. Allen, her chaperone, orders the hairdresser in. And, you imagine there's a little army, don't you, of itinerant hairdressers in Bath going around from door to door. Probably in these fashionable lodgings, they tick them off one after another. Probably very, very profitable being a hairdresser in Bath in the early 19th century. So this actually very callow 17-year-old from a Wiltshire village who's never been to a town really much before, or she's been to Salisbury, that's the biggest place she's been to, suddenly is having a privilege nobody else has in Jane Austen of having her own hairdresser.